With a hat on taxiway Bravo right before November Bravo.
You got a hat on November Bravo, you said?
That's affirmative.
Okay. A hat. Any prototype vehicle on frequency?
City ground, you got 9-4.
9-4, there's a hat on taxiway Bravo and November Bravo, if you could go take a look.
Hey guys, Rob Miller here from FlightSimToday.com, and today I am reviewing the FS2Crew PMDG 737 NGX Special Bundle Pack. It's the first time that FS2Crew decided to put the voice and button versions in one product, and I have to say straight off the bat that this is the real deal. I always say that the products are top quality if you naturally start them up straight away, so you use them without thinking about it, and this is one of those products that I actually find myself doing. A bit of information about it. You can experience the most advanced and realistic 737 cruise simulation ever created. It's based on actual Boeing 737 standard operating procedures. It's an expansion pack for the PMDG 737 NGX, so you will actually need to have the aircraft before using the product itself. We need the PMDG 737 NGX with Service Pack 1 Charlie or later installed. So remember, the aircraft's not included, you do need to have that Service Pack for it to actually work properly. But the features are the real world 737 NG SOPs tested and designed by Damien Weeks, and he's a captain of 737. There's a new visual interface system that makes using the software very easy and intuitive. I won't say that then. Direct and seamless integration owing to the PMDG's very powerful SDK. The normal checklist, there's crew flows, flight attendant interaction. You get the start crew and pushback interaction, cabin announcements, basically everything that you would get as a 737 captain. It does come with the actual FS video marshaller as well, which they normally sell for €14, so you get that in there. I don't use it during the review, and personally I don't actually use it anyway, but it is in there. It's pretty neat to have that in there. You also get different voice sets in there. The American version, the UK one, which I use, which you'll see once we go into the actual product within FSX, and the European accents version as well. It is approximately 260 meg. It's not too big, really simple. So this is the product we're going to review today, and let's go over now to the installation and documentation. Okay, so the installation side of things is an absolute breeze. You literally download the product, run the installer, done. No need to put any other information in, and the product's all installed. And the first thing you want to come to is the FS2Crew 737 NGX config screen, where you can pick config manager in a sense. And obviously we've got the special bundle pack. You'd go into that, and then you get the button control or voice control. You pick which one you want to use. In this example, I've been using the voice control. And you have all the different things in here. You can update page, do a newsletter, the support forum, the online manual. But the main important one to do to remember is to tick the enable voice control, so that once you're in your 737, your voice will work. So that's the config bit, and you obviously play around with that if you have the product and set it all up, but just make sure that that button's ticked. Obviously FS2Crew is a complex add-on, and with that it does come with many different manuals. Please do read them. The first one you'll get the read me first manual, just basically letting you know to make sure you have the service pack installed and giving the links where to get them from. Again, just highlighting the fact you need to enable either the voice or button control version, whichever one you choose, and again read the manuals, because it is a complex simulation. You need to know basically it's a flow. You need to know the flow, what to say, when to say it, things like that. You get the tutorial flights. You get the voice control one, which basically just guides you through everything, how to set up your microphone and how to set up the product itself, to make sure that you enable voice. It's 21 pages long. As I say, it goes through everything for you, just so you can understand what is going on and the right things to say, when to say it, things like that. You get the 72-page voice control manual, which goes through everything in a bit more detail, and what all the different panels mean and things like this. Again, I personally use the voice control because I just think it has that more realism, but some people don't like to use the voice and talk to their computer, prefer to use buttons. It's personal preference at the end of the day. I reviewed the voice control one in this, but the button ones are more rigid. You have to follow a flow. But the voice one gives it more lax, and what you can do, you can tell your first officer to turn things on and off. So there's, again, this is the same, repeats itself with the button control tutorial, flight, 21 pages, and then the bottom one is a 45-page manual on all the buttons. So they're the manuals, that's the config panel. I guess you've got to read them, but it does, it is fantastic. The manual covers everything that you need in detail to help you control the aircraft and know when to say things and why you're saying these things during the flow, just to give you an idea. And then it makes everything a doddle once you get into the aircraft, setting everything up. Even though it's complex, it is so easy to actually use and start up FS2Crew once you're in the cockpit, which is where we're going to go now. So let's hop on over now to FSX and sit in the cockpit and watch the engine pushback and engine start and the pre-flight for FS2Crew. Okay, so you join us here for the part where we actually show FS2Crew in action. Now, I've already started the pre-flight run, so the first officer's been round and done the walk around, setting all the systems up. He's just testing them all now, make sure they all work fully. The route's been loaded and the passengers are already started to board. So you see the top of the FS2Crew main panel. This is time to wait as the main part of the pre-flight is being done. So what I'll do is I'll run this through to the pushback and just before we start the taxi, so you get a bit of an idea the way it works with the voice and things like that. Now, I tried this earlier and it didn't want to work properly for the first time in a while. Typical, as I needed it to as I was recording the video, so I've had to redo it all and start again.
Ready for the checklist.
So it's calling for the checklist. Let's start this pre-flight checklist. Pre-flight checklist.
Oxygen.
Tested 100%.
Instrument transfer and display switches.
Normal, auto.
Window heat.
On.
Pressurization mode selector.
Auto.
Flight instruments.
Heading 100, altimeters 1012.
Heading 100, altimeters 1012. Parking brake.
Set.
Engine start levers.
Cut off.
Pre-flight checklist complete.
Okay, so there's a pre-flight checklist run down. We're ready to basically we're just going to sit here now till the doors close, and then we can start all the before start. Things are going to happen now. The the flight attendant will come in at some point, and also the handling agents and stuff will come in to just confirmation. But I'm going to speed the time down so we can speed this whole video up.
Captain, have your load and balance sheet here for you.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks Captain. Have a nice flight and I'll be seeing you later. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board our flight today. As you locate your assigned seat, please place your smaller items under the seat in front of you to provide more room for larger.
Then we're going to start the departure briefing actually, so we'll just quickly do that and we'll skip over it as fast as possible.
If you are
So we'll cheat basically.
any item in your
Are you ready for the departure brief?
I'm ready for the brief.
Any questions?
No questions.
Told you I was cheating, make it quick. So you can do it by voice, you can also set it by the briefing panel. It's worth checking it because they're the stats that we'll use for the departure, but I already know and set them up before and it saves time going for the brief.
Hi Captain, the cabin is ready to go.
Thanks.
If you need anything, just let me know.
Before start procedure.
Check. I'm ready for the checklist.
Before start checklist.
Flight deck door.
Closed and locked.
Fuel.
Set.
Passenger signs.
On.
Windows.
Locked.
MCP.
V2 157. Heading 053. Altitude 5000.
Takeoff speeds.
V1 148. VR 149. V2 157.
CDU pre-flight.
Completed.
Rudder and aileron trim.
3 and 0.
Taxi and takeoff briefing.
Completed.
Anti-collision light.
On.
Before start checklist complete.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead.
We are ready for pushback and engine start.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed and the pin has been inserted. Please release the brakes.
Brakes released.
Roger Captain, push back and you are clear to start all engines.
Start sequence is 1, then 2.
Check.
Start engine number 1.
Starting number 1.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board today. This is your purser speaking. Please direct your attention to the cabin crew for important safety information. There is an instruction card in your seat pocket that illustrates the safety equipment on board this aircraft. Regulations require compliance with this information as well as all crew instructions, the lighted information signs and posted placard. Fasten your seatbelt by inserting the metal tip into the buckle. Tighten by pulling on the belt. To release your seatbelt, lift the metal flap on the buckle. It is our policy that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times while seated. Doors are clearly marked with exit signs and instructions for door operation. Each door is equipped with an escape slide. Locate the nearest exit to you and note that the nearest exit may be behind you.
Starter cutout.
Start engine number 2.
The cabin is pressurized.
Starting number 2.
The loss of cabin pressure, a panel will open and oxygen mask will appear. Remain seated with your seatbelt fastened and pull a mask towards you to start the flow of oxygen. Oxygen will be flowing to the mask even though the bag may not inflate. Cover your nose and mouth with a mask. Place the elastic band.
Okay, push is complete. Set brakes please.
Brake set.
Secure your own mask.
Thank you Captain. The toolbar and pin have been removed and I'll see you on the left hand side with the pin.
Tighten the straps and once outside the aircraft.
We're seeing we got pushed a bit too far back as well. So we're now pushed back onto the grass.
Fails to inflate. Use the tube.
Good start, crew.
The neck. Your jacket is equipped with a light that will automatically illuminate in water. This is a non-smoking flight. Smoking is not permitted in the cabin or in the lavatory. Cabin lights will now be turned off. Reading light buttons are located over your head. Thank you very much.
Starter cutout.
Okay, you're clear to disconnect and go to hand signals.
Okay, everything looks good down here. Have a nice flight.
Flaps 5.
Check. Takeoff flaps set. I'm ready for the checklist.
Before taxi checklist.
Generators.
On.
Probe heat.
On.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Isolation valves.
Auto.
Engine start switches.
Continuous.
Recall.
Checked.
Auto brake.
RTO.
Engine start levers.
Idle detent.
Flight controls.
Checked.
Ground equipment.
Clear.
Before taxi checklist complete.
Clear on the left.
Clear on the right.
And there we have it. So that was the, obviously I sped it up a little bit, and the whole main pre-flight at the start was done before you joined me. But you say everything else, I mean, it's my error on the pushback for setting the wrong distance. But you get the idea, and obviously I'm now going to continue this flight up or down to Heathrow from Manchester. And that's it for this portion of the review looking into FS2Crew. Okay, so that was FS2Crew in action during the pushback. The engine start sequence from the pre-flight, everything like that, up until a taxi. As you can see, it brings a whole new depth of realism to the PMDG 737 NGX. It makes it easier as well. I mean, me personally, the aircraft is so complex that I can now actually focus on flying the aircraft as opposed to thinking and getting panicky like, oh, is this on? Is that system running? What's doing? What's that? The 737 was never designed to be flown by one person. Alright, it's a multi-crew aircraft. You now have a first officer that deals with everything. Well, you actually concentrate on the captain side role and the pilot flying. It's so fun. I mean, obviously, in conclusion to all this, the one little thing that I feel is missing, I use other add-ons and they generate failures at times, and the actual bog standard FS2Crew doesn't acknowledge failures, engine fires and things like that, and I've had engine flameouts twice, and then end up having to be told on deviations of the glide slope and everything like that. So the reason why it hasn't been done is because there's a new add-on to the add-on of the PMDG 737 NGX emergency, which then simulates these flows and checklists that they go through for all the emergencies. Well, this was done on purpose, so when the actual product was made, they knew long term that they were going to release this product or not. I don't know, but it would have been nice. I mean, I'm nitpicking. I am nitpicking now. It would have been nice for them to at least get the first officer to acknowledge an engine failure, for example, and even to do the run through a silent checklist to help you out in solving the problem and trying to do it all. But I'm nitpicking, and I mean the emergency one is a soul. I mean, I'm not going to talk about that, but that adds a whole new sense of realism. But if you own the 737 NGX and you don't own FS2Crew, then you should, because it is a fantastic product. In terms of an overall rating, an overview now, I'm going to basically give it 5 out of 5. As I said at the start, add-ons, good, great, fantastic add-ons are ones that you use every single time you fly, no matter what. You instinctively just start it. And FS2Crew is one of those products now that I'm finding I instinctively start it up just because it makes life so much easier. So, like I say, if you own the PMDG 737 NGX, if you are struggling to think, well, how do I start it up from cold and dark? How do I do this? I can't fly and handle it. Everything like that. Get this product, and I guarantee you that you'll find it much easier, and you'll never fly without it again. So, my name's Rob Miller from FlightSimToday.com. Say, definitely get this out and check it out, and I'll see you on the other side.